What's up, everybody? This is going to be one out of 3 videos we post today of all the stuff happening next patch. This one is about the Arena, the future of Arena, the Secret Defender team, a bunch of testing. We learned a lot of things. It's going to be sped up, so it's not a 40-minute video, so I might be talking a little quickly as we go to keep up with the footage. It's a very interesting team. I think people are going to be taken a little back. It's not the kind of team that's going to... It's not what Underworld was on War Offense, right? It's not all of a sudden going to be beating everything on millions of punch-ups. But it can sometimes, which is really impressive. It also doesn't invalidate Skrull. It doesn't invalidate Apocalypse. In fact, there's some really weird things with Apocalypse, how like having an unawakened Apocalypse is a really big benefit to you on the defensive side. And then we'll talk about Strange at the very end, because I think that's a conversation worth having. I think there's some room for understanding as to why Strange has to be the way he is. And I think there's room for us to push for them to maybe do something cool and different with Strange, just to make him a little bit usable. And I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get into it now! Alright guys, let's not waste any time. I do want to give you a heads up that this footage is going to be sped up at ×2, and for one of them ×3, just to save time on the video. I don't want it to be a 40-minute video when the points we need to get across are pretty basic. So here we go in our first matchup. You see we have a 1.2 million Secret Defender team. We're going up against the old Apocalypse meta with the Pretaunt. So we have Red Hulk, we have Morgan, we have Rogue, and we have a Dormammu, who's arguably the best Pretaunt in the game, with those real deflects that he spawns with. So the point of showing this video is that this team is not just auto-win. It's simply not. You need to be able to control the enemies before they get to take their turns and pop off, because the Secret Defenders, though really good at controlling and really good at nuking people out, if they get hit, they're going to be in trouble. You should keep an eye on that. Awakened Apocalypse did just whiff his empowered attack into Miss Marvel. That's going to play into some of the later footage we're going to look at. But as you can see, I'm down to just Apocalypse and just Rogue, so you'd think that this is going to be an easy auto-win at that point. And then things start going super south. So Rogue eventually gets to do her special, and now I'm stuck behind her. All the while, Apocalypse is just plugging people off. Rogue is now doing her stun, so it's like, if you let even one of these characters pop off and you're doing any kind of meaningful punch-up, it's going to be a problem. That was like a 400k punch-up. So, fix the issue. Unfortunately, Miss Marvel does have to do the ultimate onto Absorb Man. I really don't like that of her kit, and I don't like that they made it better on the defensive side. We'll talk about that at the very end of this. But as you see, we now controlled the Rogue. We didn't get the ability block on Red Hulk, or we did, and I just missed it because it sped up. We now put the blind out there. I do the rewind from Strange, or Strange actually seen some use here, so that he's rewinding that Apocalypse. And then we're going away. Now Rogue is still alive. We're going to leave her alive, go for the Apocalypse. And we take him out. So we take the big threat out, even if Rogue were to get her ultimate off or special off and get all that life back, we would have been fine. So we needed to change the way we played it a little bit, not too much, and then we were able to get through it. So, there's an issue of focus there. All right, we need to talk about maybe the introduction of Doom, a new Doom problem. Because if we're doing a pure Secret Defender team or a heavily influenced Secret Defender team, we don't really have as many ability blocks to work with. And if we have to blind or ability block Red Hulk, and we have to stun or ability block Rogue, then all of a sudden, what are we doing for Doom, right? So I tried this a bunch of times where I went for the Doom first. I was easily able to kill him, but then Rogue would get her taunt up, and then that would be a problem. The next thing I do want to talk about is the Awaken Apocalypse stuff, but we'll save that for its own little fight. What ended up happening here is I pushed the Doom, and then Morgan actually came in and saved me, which made me wonder, like, hey, is this actually going to be a real problem when the positioning is different, when, maybe there's no Morgan to rewind the Doom, Doom ends up popping off, and then Empowered Apocalypse pops off, and that could be a whole different issue, right? And also, what if Apocalypse yeeted out Doctor Strange there? Or what if he yeeted out Black Cat? We don't get that revive, or we do get the revive, but it's two of the weaker characters, and does Apocalypse at that point solo us and just keep healing up and healing up and healing up? Mind you, this is a 7 red star Apocalypse, so And this was like a 1 million punch-up. So, I mean, what else can you expect? We don't want the new arena meta to come in and be doing 2 million punch-ups, which it wouldn't exist. But we want them to come in doing 1 million punch-ups just too easily, right? The Dormammu. Dormammu gets absolutely yeeted out of any kind of possible matchup. This is a 540k punch-up at this point, and you're going to see Dormammu does absolutely nothing. His revives are obviously stripped right off by Black Cat, who now owns a revive herself. We play it out the same way we play every single matchup out in the Apocalypse meta, and we just ignore Dormammu. Except for this part. Strange gets to use his special, and because it actually does damage, it's part of the reason we get to kill the Dormammu, which I think was great. So Strange, useful! Wow. Strange not so useful. We'll talk about it. I mean, yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it at the end. Alright, so Photon Blade. Also, I would like to point out, I don't think my positioning here was to my advantage. I think I probably want to put either Ghost Rider Robbie or Doctor Strange besides Kamala Khan. I don't want to put Photon in that kind of danger. But I'm at rank 1 now, so I can't go any further. Alright, Beware Full Burst Teams. Now, this is a 1 million punch-up. Sorry, that should be saying it's a 1 million punch-up. And here we have Kang. Now, Kang's not doing anything speed bar-wise for this team, right? Because he only does it on offense. But keep an eye on about the later end of this fight. So I played it the same way. I basically played it all the time. I ability block the Red Hulk, stun the Rogue. Luckily, we got Morgan was blinded on her ultimate, so that did nothing. And this is going great so far. Look, Rogue is now dead. Morgan is now dead. Here comes the Apocalypse ultimate, though. And here comes the Kang ultimate, which is going to kill me. Beats me. Now, there's actually a bigger reason for that, what just happened. The Awakened Apocalypse is a weakness on defense. On offense is fine, because you get to pick which ability to use. On defense, the enemy Apocalypse opening with his special instead of his ultimate, first of all, does a nice little heal. It cleanses people because there's not full widespread trauma on the team. And when he does do his ult, he doesn't get the 100% speed bar. He only gets the 6% speed bar. So watch this. Kamala King, she gets the taunt from him getting powered, but then she takes a turn. So what happens next? Well, it's now Apocalypse's turn. He kills Black Cat. So she's now gone, and then we couldn't take on Morgan at the same time. This is a 1 million punch-up, so maybe it's not going to be a real issue, but I just thought it was really funny that the Awakened Apocalypse is a detriment to you on the defensive side. And obviously, we can't undo people that have already upgraded Apocalypse, but is this now a world where if all you care about on Arena is you don't upgrade your Apocalypse? This seems really, really sketchy. I don't really like that idea, but lo and behold. And let's be frank here. Super Skrull doesn't care about what you do. Doesn't care if your Apocalypse is a baby Apocalypse, so the turn order is more in their favor, the speed bar is more in their favor. Doesn't care if you have a full gear tier 18, level 90, level 9,000. He doesn't care, all right? Super Skrull comes in, his damage is insane, his speed bar is insane. He actually steps in right before Apocalypse does his empowered attack anyway, and he just pops off. So it's like, okay, Super Skrull, the new Dark Dimension character, he's arena meta. He obviously replaces Strange in the, what I would call, I guess, the Apex War arena team, and that's fine. The mirror match. Alright guys, I had to do a very hard edit on this because I completely forgot about a very important passive coming from Black Cat, which basically says, no turn meter rewind. So if you watch the original version and wondering why this was uploaded, it's because of that. So the secret Defender mirror match isn't as bad as I initially intended or thought, at least not because of mechanics. It's just bad because of, well, it's random. So we're going to speed through this footage as fast as possible, but as you see, like, you lose the coin flip, then you don't get to hit somebody else. Which doesn't matter because you don't get to do the turn meter rewind with Kamala Khan anyway. And what ends up happening is you just get wrecked. So I think the most important part of this matchup is going to be positioning. Me having Photon next to Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, is very, very bad because she's very squishy and dies. And also doing any kind of meaningful punch-up in the mirror matchup is going to lead to devastating results, which is exactly what happened here. So this is a 270k punch-up, and it's just not going to go well for that reason. You could keep resetting until you get the coin flip and Kamala goes first, but that's not going to win you any matchup. It's punching up is going to be a problem here. So instead, you're going to need to look to sub out a character to get an advantage. And when you do sub out a character, of course, that has its downside as well. a lot of people were worried that their investment or their goal of getting a big boy Apocalypse or even just unlocking Apocalypse was going to be wasted now that Secret Defenders are coming to the game. Well, luckily for you, that's not the case. Apocalypse is going to be very arena meta still, especially if you don't have Super Skrull. And even when you do have Super Skrull, he probably weasels his way into the team over Photon or over Robbie, depending on how you're going to play it. But yeah, Apocalypse isn't going anywhere anytime soon. You see here, I did sub out Doctor Strange for Apocalypse, and the thing about this Apocalypse is, this is my playtest server Apocalypse. He is very small. He is at 2 red, 5 yellow, only gear tier 17, which is why I had to position him so far away. But another thing you're seeing in action here is the positioning I have for my Kamala and my Black Cat now is way better than what happened with Photon. So Black Cat is still very healthy. Photon is now full life because of it. And you know what? If Kamala dies, it's not the end of the world, because we still have Apocalypse about to come in and do Apocalypse things. So there comes the heal and the buff flips, or debuff removal rather. Robbie does his thing, but now Robbie is hitting into Safeguard, which means he doesn't get to do much to us. We all had immunity, we had Safeguard, so no flips except on Photon. And so it still kind of looks rough, but one very important ability is coming up from our boy Apocalypse, and that's going to be his Empowered Punch. So if you did have a big boy Apocalypse and you were about to use the Empowered Punch, you'd actually get 100% turn meter, and you'd be able to kill the Black Cat here, basically right away, and you wouldn't lose anybody. So this matchup, it looks a little bit worse than it would actually be on the live server. This is still a giant punch-up, but just wanted to illustrate that Apocalypse is still very much arena meta necessity. Anyway, let me know what you guys are thinking about this arena meta that we're probably looking at in the comment section below. Super Skrull is probably, oh, I don't know, for the super engaged player, 5-6 months away. For kind of the casual, you know, outside of the top 100 raid alliances, probably more like 8, 9, maybe even 12 months away, depending on how they adjust the economy. So this is kind of what we're going to be looking at. What do you guys think about this? And I guess we should, the elephant in the room, Doctor Strange, he immediately gets kicked off his team. But we need to accept that. Listen, grab your pitchforks, get mad at me, I get it, but you need to accept that. Somebody had to suck on this team so that theory crafting wouldn't be dead. If the entire 5-man Secret Defender team was simply the best, no matter what, Super Skrull be damned, Apocalypse be damned, there would be no theory crafting whatsoever. Is Secret Defenders with the Awaken Apocalypse going to be the best team and then that's the cookie cutter team? I don't know. We got a lot of testing to do. Limited time on the test server. There's only so many of us on here. I'm sure someone out there is going to find a great solution. Make sure you check out Dogbird. He loves doing arena videos. So, Strange had to suck. But does he really suck? He does, but with those tags, he's going to be useful in War and in Crucible, especially in War if you take Photon out and you throw with the A-Force team. I don't think you're going to regret having your Strange built up. I do think that his ultimate should be 1 cooldown less before it's available. Like, it should be available turn 2 to kind of bring some urgency into killing him when you're trying to face that team. But it is what it is. Look, he got the Scarlet Witch treatment. I think that sucks. I hate variants on characters. Like, I hate Captain America World War II. I hate Iron Fist Orson. I'd be okay with a variant on Scarlet Witch. Call her House of M Scarlet Witch. And a variant on Doctor Strange. Call him, I don't know, groovy 70s hipster Doctor Strange. Whatever you want to do. I'd be cool with these characters coming in as new characters, getting the kind of kit they deserve. Because let's be real, guys. They're never going to take a year 1 character like they did with Gamora and give them Empowered ever again. It was too monetarily disadvantageous to them. And it's a business. It is what it is. I don't like it either. I wish Doctor Strange could get some love, but I think that's going to have to come in the form of a new character. And again, I think he's going to be useful in War and in Crucible. And I'm pushing, hey, hear me out on this. Let me know in the chat how you would like this. Especially if you're an engaged War player. Currently, if you put Captain America or a Pretaunt with Heroes for Hire, Dark Hunters struggle. Big time struggle city. What if they gave Doctor Strange a line in his kit, or Morbius a line in his kit that says, when paired with Doctor Strange, his ultimate becomes unblockable and hits all enemies instead of being a chain attack. So you're not stuck on Pretaunt, you're not stuck on Captain America. All of a sudden, Dark Hunters finally start working against the team that they were sold to work against. That's a team we use for the Morgan Le Fay. It'd just be much better. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. This has already run a little bit longer than I wanted to, as we do have 3 videos coming out today. So lots coming out. Hope you're happy. Hope you're healthy. Hope you're having fun. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.